Now we get into it. Game 1 of the El Clasico Grand Final here in the MESWA region.
And if you don't have to ban out that Tinker suddenly, you remove one tool away from them.
GH was hoping for a bit more mana, can't get it. Instead, on the other side of the map, they find TA2000.
Damn.
But if they see him... Actually, I'm not sure. They don't have access to the Stampede, so I don't think so. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, 1J is very deep, though. He's kind of behind everyone. Like you said, no
Phantom's
Stampede.
Embrace. They're not bringing in any additional heroes for the Radiant lineup. Instead, it's VP that's actually rotating the Storm down bottom. So they're not going to be able to catch 1J. But with the Storm coming through, maybe one of these cores could be bring down. 1J goes in, trying to save his life with the Inkswell. Not going to happen. He dies too quickly, and it seems like the rest of his team not really inclined to risk their lives to save him.
Yeah, it kind of helps out. Definitely. Smoke.
It's a 3-hero smoke. They're going to come across these two supports who are going to break the smoke. Omar is the one on the high ground. Very nice avalanche there. There's the global silence coming in as well. Where's the follow-up, though, from the rest of NIGMA? VP. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
2 heroes caught inside the Meteor Hammer. Laranov falling so low. He needs to get out of here. He's still silent stop plays, so he just goes down. They lost Omar in the process. That hashtag word. Noob will not connect with the Gorgon's Grasp onto the Hawk. The Centaur is still able to juke around this area, but here comes Ghost from the other side. Stormhammer, God straight going in. The Centaur losing his life.
So
very nice hook stop. That will buy some time, but unfortunately your tank ability means nothing in the face of the Sumail Tinker.
On Inkswell. On cast,
I
right?
think it's on cost, yeah, like, because they changed it. It used to be on the actual activation at the end, but then they changed it to be on cost now.
Okay. Because then it's much better that he doesn't have... Like, it would be really bad if he had this facet and the Dispel was on the end because he couldn't control it. But this is... Or maybe it would even be better because you could pre-cast it like a Purge that the Oracle can do against Global Silence. Triangle?
Getting jumped in the triangle. Global Silence will be there to try and bail him out of trouble. He does still have Stone Gate available, but doesn't even need it just yet. Here comes the God Strength. The rest of the lineup is here, but the Earth Splitter onto both him and the Tiny, bringing them very low, but they still end up killing off TA2000 first. He does eventually die on Ghost, and Omar almost loses his life. Laranov forces to chase him into the river, able to find that kill. So far it's 2 for 1. Make that 3 for 1 because Sumail able to burst down Rain with the final laser of the fight. And Noob, the priority target, is still freaking alive here, Liz. And they need to be very careful because the longer they take to kill him, the more time that Sumail has to return into the fray. He's in the fountain, healing up, and they know that they have to leave. There's no way to chase anymore. They get themselves now the new Tommy. Who is going to get this one? Goes the way of Ghost, you know. I mean, his eye is pretty decent. Does help a lot against the Elder Titan, I suppose.
Yeah, they smoke up. Can they find anyone here? The BKB, of course, is done on TA2000 as well. Going for the Shivas next. A lot of armor, by the way, on Beast. Not as easy to take down by Sven.
Rushing to find something here. Sven coming on the back lines, blinks forward. They get the global silence out. Looking for some of these supports. So first one to fall is going to be the Grimstroke. 1J is gone. Rain still alive for now. Omar cannot find the correct angle. So looks like Rain and Dahak should be able to get back to safety. Maybe not Dahak, but very nice Hoofstorm coming in from him. No, Ghost actually jumps the high ground to kill Rain. I don't know about this one, gang. He will end up losing his first life here. Maybe not. He's still fighting the laser from Sumail, helping out at the mischance, but eventually they are able to bring down the Sven. Life number 2 is on. He has a BKB at the ready. ET Splitter connects onto him, but there's not enough follow-up damage to hold him in a really deadly spot. No lockdown, so he's just gonna get himself up.
Okay. High ground push though, incoming. Meteor Hammer spam.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Now, what will you do to defend this one? They do have everything except for the ET Splitter. That's going to be up in the next 20 seconds. Enigma Galaxy, though, they have the Global Silence in 10. But crucially, they just picked up the BKB for the Sumail Tinker.
Yeah, that's a massive one as well. Now he doesn't have to be afraid of Storm, but GH maybe does.
Well, let's see what Storm can do here. There's going to be the Soulbind between the Silencer as well as the Storm. Storm Spirit trying to fight here. Global Silence will be out. They're trying to go in onto the Storm. Laranov gets saved by TA2000 with the Primal Roar, at least for now. Zips out to safety as he finished all his mana. Nice dive hole. from TA2000. That will protect them for now, but Omar says no. The toss back is still coming for you, my friend. Delivers him into the waiting hands of the rest of the lineup. They brought him down, and sadly, lizZard, he bought out, so he doesn't have buyback available.
Oh man, this is like just perfect from NIGMA. Textbook, not even the silencer dies. Like, you jump him with Inkswell Storm Spirit and you can't even kill the silencer. Somehow GH manages to pop his ult, and from that moment, like the moment the global silence is off, you know you're cooked on the side of VP.
Trying to delay proceedings, but unfortunately runs headlong into the March of the Machines with that Gleipnir there. Ghost does lose a lot of HP in the meantime. Get another decent amount of spells coming in from Rain. Unfortunately, it's not nearly enough to actually threaten NIGMA Galaxy with the lead they've amassed so far.
I love how they're not even trying to go on the Medusa, at least in these last couple of fights. Noob is absolutely ignored. They try to go on everyone else, but they've given up. They've given up killing this beast of an offlane Medusa. 15k net worth. Yep, hard to chew through.
Also, to make matters worse, Ghost is about to pick up a Satanic as well on his Sven, so the next time you're not just worrying about the life of the Aegis, the BKB, but he can just pop himself to full HP with a couple of right clicks too.
Yeah, and it's flying out. He can disassemble, of course, the Mom, and it should be there. Full Satanic completed. This is your Hail Mary play, right? Like, get from behind, try to jump the right target.
Okay, they get the jump, they get the Soulbind out onto two, it's the Tiny and the Medusa. Unfortunately, Laurenov is taking more damage than them. They still do end up killing Omar first though. That is something good for them. They blink back on the side of VP. Will anybody from NIGMA Galaxy go forward to try and catch them? Tinker wants to find these leaps forward, and so does the Sven. They can't catch them just yet.
I sincerely doubt it's a double-digit number, at least. Let's put it that way.
Alright, let me know in chat, what do you believe it is before I reveal the answer? That Dota is loading, and the answer is 0. This is the first one all time.
It's like, out of all the heroes I can imagine, Grimstroke is probably lowest on the list to buy the Nullifier. Hex?
Good lane. They get the jump onto Dahak. He's falling so low. There is going to be the global silence as well. They threw out the primal roar onto Ghost, so he can't kill off Dahak, but the second he comes out of it, he's laying in the damage. Dahak forced to go in with the stampede, but sadly Ghost has a harpoon. Drags him right back in and kills him off. Laurenov coming bottom, trying to at least punish Ghost a little bit. The Aegis expires in 5 seconds though. They toss him back towards Ghost and Sume. Laurenov gonna be forced to zip away. Now the Aegis will expire. The HP is coming back. Soulbind, double nullifier. At least it looked kind of cool coming out of 1J. But that's going to be the extent of its impact in this engagement. 2 lanes of Rax fall. Now it's a full megas. DP's base is in shambles.
Yeah, some records were broken by 1J here.
See if we can still make it happen. And there it is. He buys out completely for the refresher. But now there's nothing left. There's no buyback. This is a full all-in play from Virtus.pro. And indeed, they smoke up as 5. They want to try and make something happen. What angle will they pursue? Go for the bottom wrap, coming in through the mid lane. Omar, though, he's going to be the one that's seen first. They go on to Ghost. He doesn't have access to a global or to a Aegis at the moment, but there is still global silence to bail him out. There's going to be the Cardi putting the Beastmaster inside it to try to use these drums of Slum. There's a primal roar as well with the ET splitter. They're doing all the damage they can, and Ghost eventually will fall. But sadly, they have nothing left in the tank for everybody else. Sumail just throwing in these lasers. He does get himself nullified though. Caught in by the Dive Hawk. TA2000 trying to put in the damage, and Sumail will die.
Oh, the throne!
But, oh no!
The throne!
No!
The throne!
They actually win a fight, but it doesn't matter. NIGMA Galaxy creeps win the game. GG, well played is called. And
I mean, this changes things a little bit. I feel like Beastmaster might be a little bit better here. Because you can spam those axes, the boars are annoying.
Still no first blood just yet. Where do we think it's going to happen if it does take place? We said that bottom is going to be a counter initiation. Can something happen in the top lane that guarantees a kill?
I feel like top lane is way more volatile. Ursa down bottom, actually.
Oh my god. Ursa gets jumped on and killed. Oh my goodness. Okay. Lotus, some boots. Yeah, he's chilling. Sadly though, this is going to be some time that he's just wandering around. Not really doing all too much. Might just want to secure the team the power rune at 6 minutes, but
they're mid.
It's gonna be around middle for a while.
They're mid. They know there are no TPs on supports. They might set up on Sumail.
try for it. X marks the spot is there. Sumail running away, does have 6-1 charges, will pop them, and they just lack the damage. Overall, the Torrents does come out eventually, but it misses. Now 1J, he is gonna be fine because there's no reveal for him. Rain, though, doesn't seem to be as lucky as Noob, putting in the right-click damage. Running out of mana, but unable to fully catch up. 1J now going back in on Sumail, but still lacks the damage. And with the dive hawk from Sumail, they bring down this bounty hunter. Now, Laranov was thinking about trying to go get this haste rune, but it might have put him in a precarious position. Rain using in some defense matrix, but it's only level 1, so not much protection is going to be afforded here. Laranov in trouble. There's going to come the boat, though. Crashing in onto the Phoenix and the Medusa. That will save his life for now. Enable them to kill off GH and Omar.
Ghost.
In the meantime, the Huck gets a kill onto, or gets killed by Ghost on the other side of the map. But all the action is here on mid. As Noob trying to run right now. Laranov has X marks, but cannot close the gap. They don't find the Medusa. But still, the big prize is defending Laranov.
Yeah, Sumail was about to lift his hands for that roar. 1J still gonna get it. Yeah, still gonna get roared.
I got the bounty, I forced him to roll me, it's fine.
Yeah, he is called the bounty hunter, so his job is done very well. Noob down bot.
Maybe the first rotation from Sumail going bottom. They're going. Noob is here, does pop the... Oh, it doesn't have the mana for the Stone Gaze, but it won't matter. They're still going onto TA2000. The Roar was there, but they don't have enough follow-up to kill him just yet. And TA2000, now with the Enrage, will be able to get back to safety a little bit. Ice Shards blocks him in for a moment, but he's able to hop over with the Earthshock. Ghost, having taken the Twin Gauge rotation, comes through. They find Rain with the Dragon Tail stun. The Tinker is falling very, very low and will eventually take a tumble. Bounty Hunter not going to be allowed to escape either. He gets revealed underneath his own tower and brought down. Good rotation from Ghost, who will now leverage. Perhaps... Oh, no, he's going right back. I thought he was going to stick around with this Dragon Tail or Dragon form, but it's about to end anyway.
Yeah, Tinker falling like timber. You said it nicely. Dragon rotating in. With Orb of Corrosion, by the way. A very...
Laranov smoked up with 1J. They don't have the best vision in the area, but they know that he might be somewhere around. Sadly, it seems so does NIGMA Galaxy have an awareness that somebody's here. They're trying to juke around here, but Bounty should be able to see him eventually. It's daytime now. No, it was nighttime just as they passed him, so they didn't see him. But we'll see the Tusk. That does allow Ghost to go into the ultimate form. Coming back in, they find the stun out onto the Kunkka. The egg dropped behind them as well. Aisha is not allowing 1J to escape either.
Nice snowball.
Egg will pop right now, but the big chase is onto Laranov. The snowball did dodge the stun. Unfortunately, though, it will still lead into a couple deaths here. Nice snowball onto Bounty. Nice chase onto Kunkka. Nice response from NIGMA Galaxy to this rotation.
I don't know. Without Beast, it's even harder. As long as he has Enrage, of course.
Still, though, doesn't seem to be impacting NIGMA all that much. They still have the 2k net worth advantage overall. They're pressuring bottom. They've taken the top tower. Oh, look at this. They found Rain. The snowball. He was on the last second of his TP. That is so unfortunate. Rain will end up going down to the hands of GH.
Unfortunate, but Omar and GH just always in the right position. I feel like they're just playing this game faster and reading the movements of Virtus.pro like all the time. Why is Omar here? It's not really unfortunate. He's here because his Medusa is pushing with Meteor Hammer, and the only one that can really defend is the Tinker. So he wraps behind and finds him. Like, just very nicely played. There is a Kunkka rotating though.
Here, Centaur is also going to make his way over. Let's mark the spot onto Noob. 1J's here as well. The Stone Gaze will be triggered out, but Snowball, Stone Gaze goes through it. So there's going to be the Supernova being triggered out. Can they destroy this egg in time before it pops? Yes, they can. They've taken it away, and now all of a sudden Omar's going to lose his life as well. TA2000 on a double kill. Ghost getting dragged back in with the X marks. He's going to be sitting in front of some very ravenous heroes, and they are thirsting for some dragon's blood. They will take it. Triple kill for TA2000. Perhaps they have enough in the tank to take on Noob, but they can't find the angle for the X marks from Laranov, so Noob will be allowed to live.
Yeah, they bit a little bit more than they could chew. Like these two heroes, Centaur has a Crimson Guard, Kunkka with Blade Mail, Double Bracer, and the Rum.
Thanks for the tour, me bozos. Let's see who it goes towards. Either Tusk or the Phoenix. Ooh, now that's a shot, baby. Now we're talking.
Yeah, both of them have really good shards. I like the, especially in this game, I'd like ice shards. Like, they're really good, but of course Sunray as well. It's one thing when a shard is good, it's completely other when a shard is like the main build of the hero. And for Phoenix, it's almost always the main item that you go for.
Virtus Pro, they have picked up a Ursa Blink Dagger now, so we'll see if they want to make some plays. They are smoked up on NIGMA, but it's really hard to find a target. Mid lane is being pushed in constantly by Rain.
They can rush though.
Kunkka's in the jungle in the triangle. They get just a sliver of vision of Kunkka taking these Ancients, so maybe you jump Laranov here, Sumail. But they have the reach, ice shots, nice block onto Laranov, not going to be allowed to escape here. He will throw out the boat though. Coco Rum will delay proceedings for as long as possible, and there's going to be the defense matrix as well. Bro, they maxed out the defensive stat. You are not lying. They simply cannot kill him. And now that they brought in the Centaur, these heroes need to retreat. 1J though, my friend, you do not have all the defensive tools of these other heroes. He will end up dead. But now TA2000 goes forward, finds Sumail, gets immediate revenge for his boy. Noob going forward with the Stone Gaze. Unfortunately, Dark facing away from him. Now though, the Stone Gaze is over. Marching the Machines on the ground. They're going to drop the Meteor Hammer, but TA2000 moves away from it. The Hawk still losing HP, defense matrix, buying space and time. Finally, they get the kill. They did buy back on 1J to try and return this fight, but sadly, he's unable to massively contribute here. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 engagement with a buyback from VP. I think before the buyback it was okay, but now they get the Yules middle onto TA2000. They want to chase this Ursa Bear down. They can't catch him in time. Omar getting himself dragged back in by the X marks. There's a Torrent as well, and with TA2000 on top of him, it should have enough damage, but also they have enough damage to kill the bear. Laranov now finding himself dive bombed by Sumail, who has respawned into the fight, able to find the kill onto Laranov. Rain attempting his best to run away, will not be allowed to do so. Now 1J, he knows his life is forfeit. He does have access to the Shadow Walk, but they don't have vision. They don't have any dust anymore. They've used them all in the fight. So he's going to be the lone survivor here, but everybody else ends up tumbling. What a crazy fight. And VP, they get punished super hard here, Liz.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is free rush now.
Oh, Yules Gaming. You love to see it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you get 4 Yule Scepters or 4 of any one item, it means you're lacking in some other department, right? Like no Solar Crest, no Vlads on someone, no utility items. Oh, by the way, you also get rid of track as well. That's another thing.
2 heroes caught inside. The Gleipnir coming in from Noob with the ice shots to follow this up. Now they want to go for Dahak. They find him first with the snowball, but they also reach Rain with the primal roll. Where is the follow-up damage? Supernova now comes into the middle of the fight. They need to run from Virtus Pro. The stun though, will it be there for TA2000? No. Does manage to get away just in time, but the Gleipnir will still follow this up. They're holding him in the air with the Walrus Punch, but unfortunately Omar dies first. Ghost wasn't able to really keep a beat on one of his targets. Now though, the unfortunate one will be the Bounty Hunter. He will end up going down. Ghost on a dominating streak.
Yeah. Dragon form 50% out. There's no roar. I wonder if they can reset this. They're not trying to though. If Laranov had some ability, maybe he'd be able to jump and X marks the spot, but nothing like that was available. This last couple of patches when she became all about int and mana, I feel like and offlane, I mean, when she was played, I feel like Yules was purchased a bit more than before, so competitively, right?
Competitive games, yeah. Only competitive games.
I don't know, like 25 times, maybe? Is that too much?
No, that's way too much. This is only the 5th ever pickup of a Medusa with the Yule Scepter, and the 1st ever to be picked up by a core hero. Everybody else have been supports that have gone with this one.
Ghost?
A little bit of danger here, but for now, Ghost just wants to take the tier 3 tower. Doesn't really care about these marches. And they're going for it. Racks are up. Aegis, Orb of Corrosion, Orb of Destruction, excuse me. BKB, SNY, Armlet, 4 power trades. Man, that's a tough kill. They're gonna try and go forward here. There will be a boat flying out. Ghost still standing his ground though. They also expended already the primal roar onto TA2000, so he couldn't find his primary kills on the back, but sadly, they don't have anything to hold him down, and they kill the Phoenix before the Supernova emerges from GH. He ends up going down. Ghost still tracked up, needs to be careful now. Dahak went forward, didn't get the stun that he wanted. coming back off cooldown just now. Does he have the additional blink to reach forward? 1J giving them the vision, giving them the track, wanting to open up the space for them to chase forward. And Noob, excellent Meteor Hammer, stopping both. I mean, we also only have a couple of levels until he hits 15, right? That's when, for me, the defense matrix becomes really, really hard to deal with in the earlier portion. They jump now forward. Noob gets caught up. The double Yules will be there, but not going to be enough lockdown to really threaten his life, so he's going to be fine.
That double use is actually genius on Medusa. Like, you use him and you reset yourself so they can't go on you, buying some more time for the Mystic Snake. Like, actually, like, you want to use it on the Lotus target.
Ghost still has another about 70 seconds to go on his Aegis. Losing a lot of HP though, but now quick Yules onto TA2000 as we forced into expending the Enrage. Goes on the high ground, and like we said, less than half a second. And now Sumail though, in the meantime, was able to rip through the Tinker on the high ground. GH with the Supernova out as well, forcing back the rest of Virtus Pro. They buy back on Rain. Noob dropping hammer onto these lane of racks. They've taken away the tier 3 tower. Aegis still standing strong for another 50 seconds. NIGMA Galaxy, yet again, looking solid on the retreat. Noob is the one that just Yules up to avoid the X marks the spot. It will be a 2-hero torrent, but there's no way Lornoff is going to charge that far forward at this point.
They're so good at disengaging. Lornoff is trying his best to catch someone.
You get the catch on the Medusa with the X marks the spot. You get her back into the river though. Ice Paw for the Sunray is going to be there. Yules now onto TA2000. Doesn't have a BKB available. TA2000 is in some trouble here. He's going to be surrounded by Nigma heroes. Yules again into the air. GH doesn't have the egg but doesn't need it. The Sunburn and the additional slow ensures that they can kill off TA2000. Omar will find himself unable to TP home. Interrupted and killed off by Dahak, but unfortunately for Dahak, that's going to cost his life as well. Sumail now on a killing spree. And neither of these heroes have buyback, lizZard. How do they defend 3 versus 4?
You probably do not. Not the bot lane at least. They can go straight into the mid lane as well. No tier 2 towers up. This at least should be mega creeps. Like, so far you weren't able to stop Ghost. I don't see how you can do it with 3 heroes instead of 5.
Gonna try. But unfortunately, Ghost is willing to just stand his ground, go on to Lornoff. Lornoff is the one that's forced to flee. At least drops the boat for some Coco Rum, but that just encourages Noob and Ghost to ignore him and go right back to the priority target of taking these racks. Yes, the Centaur's back in 10, and so is the Ursa, but they're going to arrive to a base that is an absolute shambles.
Yeah, just taking one side after another. I really have to commend NIGMA. Like, they literally did not want to take any team fights. Ursa tipping into them. They have Stone Gaze and Hex though.
Okay, Ursa gets immediately used up into the air. Noob defensively
Sumail,
responsible. Pops the Stone Gaze to make the retreat happen, but they're coming in on the other side. Sumail, he's been tracked up as well. Dahak was looking for the hoof stomp. Sadly, the BKB will protect Sumail, and now he turns back in with the Primal Roll, but he blinked into a torrent. Sumail is gonna fall and die. Lornoff, him and TA2000 need to deal with this egg. Can they do so in time? GH will make sure that the egg pops, stuns 3 heroes. Now they go back in. Snowball on the 3 with the Meteor Hammer onto all of them as well. TA2000 about to die. 1J can do nothing on the back lines. And Virtus Pro throw in the towel. GG, well played is called. NIGMA Galaxy take a 2-0 win and give Ghost an ultra kill to round out game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely well-deserved ultra kill for Ghost. I don't know what they gave the Ursa, but he was high as hell through the game. He spent more time in the air than anywhere else.
These could be mid, right?
Yeah.
How about... Let's think. How would you feel about Razor here for Sumail in the mid lane?
Holy...
NIGMA Galaxy on the cusp of booking their ticket to Dream League Season 26. Let's see how it all breaks out. NIGMA, they smoke up, they head on the high ground. Oh, 2 heroes caught with the Storm Hammer. Sumail jumps forward as well, but unfortunately they jump into quite a bit of damage. He needs to get the hell out of here. Sumail almost died. Lightning Storm slowing these heroes down, but not able to catch up to Sumail. Omar will be the unlucky one. Will be sacrificed to the altar of Virtus Pro, and that's a first blood. Not just any first blood, Liz. The kill goes to the Leshrac.
I mean, I think Lotus is a really good item this game, and so is Vanguard, so... These are the items I'm waiting for.
How would you feel given that there is a Sven bottom lane? Sven actually getting a kill, but might die to Dahak, and indeed he does. How would you feel about a Halberd on this Bristleback so that you have the disarm onto both the Sven and the Marcy throughout the game?
Also,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Top lane. Putting some pressure in onto this Lifestealer. They know they wanted to force him to rage, and indeed they do. Direhawk will be there a little bit. They toss him back. He's actually in more danger than I thought. They have to rotate in 1J, but he arrives too late. He will end up taking a tumble here. Noob, will he be punished surrounded by these two supports? It does not seem like they're going to have the damage. Avalanche will cool down in 2 seconds, so they're going to turn back onto 1J potentially. There's the Avalanche. They don't have mana for the toss just yet. He does have a Lotus to eat. He does, but he dies before he could get off the toss. So 1J will live. Will eat an Arcane Curse. Doesn't get the last word connection though, so 1J lives. It's Omar that ends up dying.
March of the Machines, what a spell. Yeah, it was a nice attempt by Omar to bait them. Like, he was hiding behind, go and farm the Ancients. At this point, he's not level 6 even yet, so needs a little bit more time to work with to get that Radiance. They know that Sumail wants him mid, so they're rotating everyone in.
Sumail jumps back in onto the slash, but God, look at the damage! Holy base! Sumail really did not expect to die that quickly, and GH finding out he cannot render any assistance either. Little did they know that Dahak would be there with the magic damage on the Leshrac. Much too much for this Marcy to deal with at this moment.
It was a nice idea, but Virtus.pro read it. It took too long. I feel like it took too long for them to decide to go on this. He doesn't really care that much about your creep.
Also, the frustration about this Beastmaster, he's playing into a Tinker, so... You know, normally at this stage of the game, with the kind of start that he was having, anticipating at least, even if you don't like win the lane, by now you should have the tower pretty much dead, but this Tinker just says, no brother, it'll take a lot longer than you think. But Sumail wants to try and re-engage, misses the hit after the jump in with the rebound. Global Silence was expended as well, and now they find the roar onto Rain. Can they kill him? Infest will be there from the lifesteal, and now here comes Laranov out of nowhere. Two heroes split earth with the lightning bursting everywhere. They've lost both of their cores. Rain does not care about losing his life if he gives his team such a massive advantage afterwards.
This is just... the snowballing has started for Lash at least. He's moving bottom now. Maybe he can get the kill off on GH or Tiny.
Tiny just TP'd in, very low, but Ghost is able to pop the God Strength and kill off Dahak, who did go a little bit too far away from this Lash, and now they just toss Ghost forward. Look at the right-click damage. Laranov may be very easily able to deal the damage, but he's not able to take it. He goes down, granting a double towards NIGMA Galaxy. I think they want to go top to mount a defense there because they've not really been hard committing to this push. Just have a slight Beastmaster army from Noob.
Dahak
with his Shaman.
The Sumail is invis.
Sumail is indeed invis. Omar is here as well. Global Silence will be out, and there they got him. Do they have the damage to kill him, though? Blade Mail gonna do quite a bit, but not enough to really dissuade them from finishing him off.
Top play.
And once the BKB finishes, he does end up dying. In the meantime, on the other side, they started a fight. They're going onto the Global Silence. They managed to bring him down. And they were hoping to chase down Noob, but he does TP out to safety.
I love how you called him the Global Silence. They went on the Global Silence and they killed the Global Silence guy. Yeah, I mean, that's... Silence do have Aegis for another minute more. Also, a full pipe completed on Noob in a second.
You know, by the way, you're talking about like how Silencer can be replaced by the Global. Do you remember TI-22 in Singapore where half the game was literally Silencer just chilling in the fountain waiting to cast a spell? Now, he's going forward. There's going to be the stolen Global. They go in onto Noob. They're able to get the first kill onto the Beastmaster. Sven with the God Strength trying to do what he can, but he's losing too much HP. There was a very big avalanche though. Omar opened up the space, and now they bring back Laranov into the hands of Ghost. They beat his ass down. The original Global Silence comes in right now to ensure that they can finish off this fight. Dahak held in place by these avalanche. The rebound, the dispose, God Strength on the backline, goes, cleaves through the Tinker onto the Bristleback to earn himself a triple kill.
You can say what you will about Ghost, that he got carried a couple of these games in the qual.
We spoke about it earlier on, right? Once he gets the Blade Mail, there's Sven with God Strength, Marcy, even the Beastmasters. A lot of like AoE damage that's hard for the enemy team to just target around you, so it's gonna hurt them quite a bit when you activate that item. We'll see if they can get this fight going though. Marcy is not here, so this could actually be a numerical overload for Virtus Pro, but unfortunately, not only do they not know that Marcy is not here, their initiation is really tough. It's only really Loranov that can do it. There's no Blink Dagger on this 1J Rubik, so nobody else can move forward and find the stun.
Well, maybe Loranov can do it. Like you said, he does have the Blink to work with.
Does indeed. There we go. Takes the stun forward, but unfortunately blinks into a Global Silence God Strength stun from Sven. Loranov dies, so does the Lifestealer, who was the cargo within him. Another rebound that stuns up onto 2 as 1J disappears. Rain and Dahak can do nothing but watch. They will finish off Rain. Dahak will attempt his TP out. At least he'll be allowed to leave. But everybody else, no such option available. And NIGMA don't even lose a single hero. They would love to get in through this mid lane. Dahak is going to do his utmost to defend this. With their Matrix being provisioned by Rain. It's not an easy kill to get. But nonetheless, here's the toss back. He's roared. Global Silence is out. Woo!
Where'd he go?
Alright, there used to be a Bristle back there, but he's just gone. Does have buyback though. TA2000 was dragged back in by the Harpoon, but the Yules onto Ghost will protect TA2000 for now. Unfortunately, no Yules for the building, so the mid lane of Rax will fall without too much effort.
The lift was used on the creep, nothing massive. God Strength to whatever is needed, so he went for a Nullifier. And you are playing into a Tinker, right? So this Nullifier is really damn nice in Sumail.
Radiant are scanning.
He's about to reveal it as well as they're coming in. They smoke through the mid lane. They see TA2000. Oh no, this is pain and suffering. The worst possible target to lose first, and he's gone. No buyback available for TA2000 here. Your carry is dead to rights. And they can still come keeping for this fight. God Strength is still available. Loranov taking so much damage. He dies to the Unleashed God Strength right click. Rain will follow him into the grave. And Dahak, although he's able to stand his ground, although he's not dying, it ultimately does not matter. GG, well played is called. NIGMA Galaxy have won the Grand Finals and have booked their ticket to Dream League Season 26.
Congratulations